Well, as I always say, Mondays are the most boring days starting the week, but like any other Mondays, we keep your Mondays very exciting as much as possible. So, for today's episode, we're going to be reviewing the early shows from All Japan Pro Wrestling with New Year's Giant Series, featuring two matches with two different main events taking place as well. The first one on day one was on the 2nd of January. Of course, we had a battle royal that was the main event, but what should have been the main event was the All Japan World Junior Heavyweight title defended for the first time. And of course, on day two, once again, they're still in Korakuen Hall. Katsuhiko Nakajima faces Charlie Dempsey, defending the Triple Crown Championship. So that's a very interesting matches to enjoy as well. And of course, for both nights, we did see members of At Risk Girls making their debut on both shows. Then we will move on with the much recent event by GCW 56 Birdz in Columbus, Ohio, featuring many matches in this one as well. But we're also going to do something very new for all of you. This one's called Promotions You Did Not Know They Existed. So if you guys are from this January vicinity, we have three of them that you'll be surprised where they're from. And then we cap it up with some news updates to tell what's been going on in the world of pro wrestling, such as what events are being put out by the promotions, who's booked, what matches are set, any wrestlers that have been signed or departing from their promotions. We even have, of course, developments going on with what in the world of pro wrestling, such as interesting news updates regarding certain situations and all this other stuff. So let's get ready for another episode of the Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to the Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA Wrestling, and the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel where we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere in the world where pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also do more news updates. If I'm unable to put it on this episode, I can put it on a separate video by itself. And we also have some other cool stuff as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us on this channel. So you'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool stuff as well. So if you like this episode as well, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, as you know, we started 2024 as a good year, including in pro wrestling. Now, All Japan Pro Wrestling had two shows that started out the year for them. The first one started in January 2nd in Korakuen Hall, I believe. And we have various matches that took place. Now, our first match, we have like a bit of the junior heavyweight competitors in one ring. We have team number one. We have Rising Hayato, Ryo Inouye, Fuminori Abe. They take on Takahiro Katori, Naruki Doi, and Koji Iwamoto. I have to say it was a pretty good match. Not to mention, there's some really good talent. Now I know that Katori, he's originally from a promotion, Freedoms, but it's great to see him there. But unfortunately, this match ended with Iwamoto doing what excuse me, what of course some judo experts like to do, like the overthrow, but he made that onto on Inoue really hard, picking up a very impressive win. So not bad for the junior weight competitors. Now, however, as soon as everything was cleared out, Rising Hayato, who was on the losing team, for some odd reason, he actually asked for the mic and did a post-match promo. I don't know what he said, but whatever he said, I'm sure that it must be good or whatever he said. But hopefully one day we'll find out. Now our next match is a title match, and this is for the Gaora TV title. We have Minoru Tanaka defending this title, taking on Black Mensuri. Now, as you all know, I mentioned this recently during a news update in a previous episode that Black Mensuri actually announced that he will be leaving All Japan Pro Wrestling by the end of this month. So I think I asked myself this question. But let's move on with this match, and I'll explain it to you. I have to say the match was pretty good because Minoru Tanaka does have experience as a striker and a submission specialist. You would have assumed that this match would have fallen to favor, but somehow Black Mansuri was able to overturn or counter whatever Tanaka was intending to do. But somehow one of his pinfalls that Tanaka was intending to do was overturned by Black Mansuri and picked up the win. I was like, bit of surprise about that. But at the same time, knowing what just happened with Black Mansuri, I questioned, okay, does this mean that he will have to drop the belt sooner or later since he will be leaving All Japan Pro Wrestling by the end of this month? That is something that's still unclear. But I do know that All Japan Pro Wrestling did try to keep him around. But however, due to this situation that he's in, apparently he's leaving because of the distrust towards the president of All Japan Pro Wrestling. So who knows what's been going on, but we'll find out hopefully one day. Now, our next match, we had a very interesting tag match. We have Atsuki Aoyagi along with his brother Yuma, and of course Kento Miyahara. They take on the combination of Kuroshio Tokyo Japan, or better known as Ikemenjiro, Seigyo Tachibana, and of course the returning Shotaro Ashino. I thought it was great to see them. I mean, Ikemenjiro, if you guys ever seen him, during his entire entrance, he likes to dance around with the fans, getting to know them, say hi, all this, get a dance and all that. However, they're trying to tell him, get back in the ring. You're trying to start. So the moment you think he was going to back ring, oh nope, sorry, I'm actually going to say hi to my friends. That's always been what he's been doing the entire time. But however, the match was pretty good, not gonna lie. But in the same time watching this, I feel this was a perfect return match for Ashino. Those who don't know Shotaro Ashino, last year he was the winner of the Carnival Champions tournament, unable to compete for the Triple Crown due to the fact of the injury. But however, now that he's back, I feel that this was a perfect return match because he applied what was it he did? Oh yeah, somewhat of a combination of a backdrop and then into a slam onto Asuki Aoyagi, and boom, just like that, it was over. But I feel like Ashino came back with a vengeance in some capacity since his injury. But there's nothing wrong with that. Now, out of nowhere, I was aware that this was going to happen, but I did not expect it somewhere. We had the wrestlers from the Yoshi promotion, At Risk Girls. I did not anticipate this was going to happen. Now, we have seen Yoshi wrestlers made their debut. We saw Mayumi Ozaki, Mayuhiki, Unagi, Saki, Team 200 kilograms, various other. Oh yeah, and Colors. Don't I mean no? Yeah, Colors. We did see the girls from Evolution, many others, but Aqua's girls. No, I did not anticipate that. But of course, they did the little dance routine. But the one thing that surprised me during their dance routine, they actually played the one dance that I'm familiarized with, Love Riddle. I thought they were done doing that thing, but I'm glad that they kept it. I really like that song. But of course, things have changed with Actress Girls since the start of 2022. But seeing them in the ring is great. However, at some point before the song was ever over, someone shows up and everybody's like, "What's going on?" And then you see this person named the great Asako, portrayed by a wrestler named Mia Osako. I don't know if she's trying to do like a rip off of of the Great Muda, but all of a sudden she comes in the ring, she calls out her tag partner, and she picked Miko Anui. Anu. I don't know why, but yeah. But their opponents is Misa Matsui and Natsuki Sumikawa. I thought the match was pretty good, and I think it's a great introduction. I mean, if you're an All Japan Pro Wrestling fan, then you know that you're going to be in for a treat. I mean, yes, you've seen many other Yoshi girls. Sometimes you got to take a look at other, you got to have another fresh perspective. I thought it was a pretty good match, but in the end, it was a diving double knee drop on by Sumikawa onto the Great Osako to pick up the win. Now, as soon as everybody left, Osako was still dragging herself out, knowing that she has no friends, so basically she's all alone. Now, our next match is a very interesting one. It's a 10-man tag team match. Team number one, we have Okudo Omori, Davey Boy Smith Jr., Minoru Suzuki. They team up with the Saito brothers, Jun and Ri. Now, they take on Ryuki Honda, Asamu Nishimura, Ren Ayabe, Mitsuga Nagai, and of course Suwama. Now, of course, there's going to be some interesting moments. I mean, with Suzuki and all this other stuff. But however, there was a lack of communication coming from Suzuki and Rei Sato. So Rei Sato did not like the fact that he got kicked in the face accidentally by Minoru Suzuki. But when you start a fight with Suzuki, you know this is not good. Suzuki doesn't play that type of game. So there was chaotic. Everybody were fighting everybody. So the ref had no other choice but this turns this match into a no contest. So that's how it ended. But I wouldn't be surprised that sooner or later Minoru Suzuki may have to deal with Rei Sato and possibly his brother Jun. So we'll see about that. Now moving on. Our next match, we have Yuma Anzai. He teams up with, this is the debut of Charlie Dempsey. They take on Hideki Suzuki and Katsuhiko Nakajima. Now, keep in mind, Dempsey was already there he's already booked for the following day. They take on Nakajima for the Triple Crown title. However, how will this warm up be? Now, we know that Nakajima, he is the current top star of All Japan, but many of the roster members consider him as an outsider who stepped into their domain. And that's very common in Japanese wrestling. Certain people don't like you when you step in on their territory. That happened last year with Jake Lee, who actually left All Japan to join Noah, and Keno called him a spy for All Japan Pro Wrestling, despite the fact that he at the time was the GHC heavyweight champion. And I'm sure we're going to see something similar to that here in All Japan. But however, everything turned out great. However, Dempsey made a surprising pinfall onto Nakajima with the bridge, and that was pretty amazing. But of course, Nakajima was not having it. Even Hideki Suzuki tried to bring peace between both competitors, but Nakajima is warning him that he is the champion, that he will devour him at any way possible. So we'll see where that goes, because it was Nakajima who will have to defend that title the following day. Now, our next match is the All Japan World Junior Heavyweight title. Dan Tamura, who just recently won this belt back in December 31st, he defeated El Lindaman. But now Dan Tamura faces against his own teammate from Evolution, Hikaru Sato. Now, it's no secret, those who are All Japan Pro Wrestling, you know for a fact that Hikaru Sato was a former champion. So this is a very interesting match. Now, you look at Hikaru Sato, a wrestler who has a martial arts background, and you got Dan Tamura, who has a amazing powerhouse background. It would be a great combination, but he does have a little bit of the grappling technique in his power. I thought this match was going to be good. However, I thought Hikaru Sato had this one right in the bag, but no, but he ended up on the wrong side of the Boston Crab by Tamra, and he had no other choice but to tap, and Tamra retained the belt. Now, our final match, the entire roster of this particular show participated in a Rumble match. Now, I don't know how it was eliminated. It was chaotic, but I can tell you who actually won this match. The person who won it is Ryo Inoue. Now, I don't know what he gets from, of course, from this. Like they gave him some sort of package or something. I'm not sure, but he seems happy that he actually won. He did a double pinfall on Rising Hayato, and I forgot who was the other person. But that was a great finisher. So, great match. So, I think that's pretty much it with day one of New Year Giant Series by All Japan. Let's move on with day two on that. Okay, day two of All Japan Pro Wrestling New Year Giant Series. Now, this took place on January 3rd and still in Korakuen Hall. Now, our first match, we had an 8-man tag team match, and all of them are junior heavyweight competitors. Team number one, we got Fuminori Abe, Naruki Doi, Hikaru Sato, and Koji Doi. They take on Black Men Suri, Ryu Inoue, Rising Hayato, and Dan Tamura. Now, of course, uh, anything could happen in this, but some dirty tactics were coming from Naruki Doi as possible. But once again, Koji Iwamoto um, surprised us with another like a sort like another type of overthrow judo style, but this time he did it onto Ryo Inoue and picked up the win. But however, due to the presence of Dan Tamura being there, Iwamoto has a sight set on the All Japan World Junior Heavyweight title. So it's no surprise that he probably will make his challenge soon enough until he builds up more momentum to this. Now, our next match, we have Hikuto Amori and Minoru Suzuki. They take on Saigo Tachibana and Kudoshio Tokyo, Japan, better known as Ikemenjiro. Now, as I mentioned with Ikemenjiro, he likes to do a sing a dance during his entrance. The last thing he needs to do is piss off Minoru Suzuki. He's like, I'm not here to play games. So he should have known better. Don't do this in Suzuki. You're wasting his time. So he attacked him, and of course, people did not like that. So, of course, there was going to be violent moments coming from Suzuki, but it was Suzuki with the Gotch style power driver on Tachibana to pick up the win. So, I guess this is a direct message saying, I'm not here to play games, Ikemenjiro, so don't play with me. So, anyway, our next match we have Yuma Anzai teaming up once again with his buddy Raiko Inoue. They take on the Aoyagi brothers, Azuki and Yuma. To be honest with you, I cannot remember or recall if these two have ever teamed up. I'm sure in the past they have, but maybe this is one of those times where maybe I don't know. I mean, if anybody do know, please leave a comment down below because I cannot recall if these two brothers ever teamed up. And I have to say it is kind of interesting that happened. But nonetheless, the match was pretty good. But once again, I have to say, Ruki Inoue, he is one of those wrestlers that many of us had high hopes to become the Triple Crown champion, but unfortunately he couldn't beat Yuma Aoyagi. But it was his finisher move that, in fact, finished off his younger brother, the final vent, and it was over right from there. Now, once again, the Atlas girls took center stage to do their little dance routine, of course, with Love Riddle, which I love so much to hear. And of course, now and then they jump into their match. The team that was it was another tag team. We have Chikagoto and Koiki. They take on Natsuki and Miko Inoue. Now, this is completely different from what we saw the last time on the previous day. But nonetheless, it was a pretty good match. Now, I know that Miko Inoue has not been, as you know, she was at the time the top champion. So basically, recently she just lost the title to Mari. Haven't seen that match, but hopefully one day I get to see it. But anyway, the match was pretty good. But in fact, I have to say, certain girls I haven't seen before are very impressive. But it was, of course, Quickie who picked up the win with some sort of over the some top jumping on over the top of the turnbuckle and landing on Atsuki to pick up the win. I thought it was fantastic. I mean, don't know much about these girls. I'm sure. Hopefully, one day I get to talk to a local podcaster here in my town who may know more about this than me. So we'll see. Now, Shotaro Ashino teams up with Renayabe. They take on the Saito brothers, Jun and Ri. You would have assumed that this match was going to be one of those matches where, of course, Shotaro, who has dealt with the Jun brothers before, but this time it was, of course, Ayabe who suffered the fate with the diving body press by Ri Saito and picked up the win. Now, our next match, we have Kento Miyahara teams up with Davey Boy Smith Jr. They take on Hideki, Suzuki, and Suwama. What's interesting enough, Hideki and Suwama somehow decided to, how to say, cut their differences aside and deal with these guys for a while. But now it was great. But however, it was uh what's his name? Suwama had Kento right where he wanted him. He was about to put him in a power bomb, but somehow he countered it with a forward sunset flip. 1, 2, 3. It was over. I mean, you wouldn't expect it, but I have to say, Kento really pulled up a really good, impressive win. I know he lost previously to Suwama before, and I think this was payback for that loss. But nonetheless, that was a win. Now, our main event, I believe, is the Triple Crown Championship. Charlie Dempsey versus Nakuhiko Nakajima. I have to say, this match was beyond it. Now, Dempsey, he is a tough SOB. You've seen the kind of person he is when it comes to what he does. He does have that submission specialist. He's fearless. He's not here to play games, and neither is Nakajima. But it took only 2 vertical spikes that to put away Dempsey and for Nakajima to pick up the win. Now, of course, he did a promo right after his match, but unfortunately he was not interrupted, but had a surprise visit from Shotaro Ashino. Ashino, who's an inbred of All Japan, does not like outsiders invading, so he issued the challenge. Since he was unable to face for the Triple Crown title last year, now he decides to make his perfect opportunity to grab that moment, that title that was taken from him, that title opportunity he never got, but now he can grab it. So he said that he will destroy Nakajima and send them packing. So we'll see where that leads us from here on out. I think that's pretty much it now with All Japan Pro Wrestling. Let's move on with GCW 56 Birdz. GCW 56 Birdz. Now, this is one of their much recent shows that took place this past Saturday, I believe, in Columbus, Ohio, right after No Compadre in Chicago. So there were a few changes made as well, but nonetheless, let's get started on this particular event. We had the GCW World Tag Team titles on the line. We have 3 teams. Violence is Forever, our current champions, Kevin Koo and Dominic Rini. They take on Davey Bang and August Matthews, the team they defeated before. But the added element is the rejects, Reed Bentley and, of course, John Wayne Murdoch. But they attack Davey and, of course, August. They're not playing games, and not to mention they are determined to win the tag team title. But nonetheless, there was going to be a lot of moments where things are going to be interesting. But one thing that was interesting, the Rejects had this match won, but Violence Forever took advantage of it when they did a super Deep South Destroyer on Davey Bang, but they were able to remove the Rejects and Dominic Green pin Davey Bang in order to retain the belt. I have to say, smart move out of their part. Now, our next match, we have Uni El Bandito taking on Jack Cartwheel. Now, you know there's going to be a lot of high flying maneuvers in this match, and that is what makes these type of matches awesome to watch. I mean, I grew up watching Lucha Libre. I'm sure many of you who has watched it know what I'm talking about, but nonetheless, amazing. But the one thing I did not anticipate is how Oni Benito was going to win. He used a power bomb. I think he used maybe 2 or 3 times. I cannot recall that much as well, but he was able to apply that, and that's how it allowed him to win. I'm sure many of us would like to see him come back more. Our next match, we have Philly Marino Experience, Philly Collins and Marino Tagnaglia. They take on the most dangerous duo, the rich and the powerful, Richard Holiday and Charles Mason. Now, you probably would have assumed that they were going to destroy them. That's exactly what they do. I mean, Charles Mason is not here to play games. He thinks that he is politically correct on everything. I mean, we know the deals that he has done over time, but it was Charles Mason with the Death Valley driver onto Collins to pick up the win. But however, he sent his little attack dog, Perro, to finish off both Philly and Marino. And then after that, Holiday and Mason applied, of course, the plastic bags over there, trying to choke the life out of them. So someone needs to stop these jerk monkeys regardless. Our next match, we have Broski Jimmy Lloyd taking on Manders. Now, of course, as you know, Jimmy Lloyd's embracing the Broski way thanks to Matt Cardona and learning some of his dumb behaviors. As late as you know, Cardona claims that he is the true star of GCW, that he's there to save it. He calls himself the Deathmatch King, but you know perfectly well that he is not. But nonetheless, you would have assumed that Manders, who was one of the toughest SOBs, was going to win it. But no, Steph the Landers, a little bitch, was there, threw some powder into the eyes of Manders, allowing for Jimmy to apply the Zack Ryder, which is called radio silence, but we call him the Zack Ryder in GCW. So yeah. Our next match, we have a very interesting 6-man tag team match. We have Los Macizos, Miedo Extremo and Ciclope, teaming up with Rina Yamashita. They take on Jeffrey John, Brady Toon, and Alec Price. Now, you probably would assume, well, all three, Los Macizos and Yamashita, would have brought all kinds of hell to their opponents. That's exactly what she would have done. But, however, it was the big splash by Rina Yamashita to put away Jeffrey Johns and giving him a very good win. Now, our next match, we have the Young Goat taking on the Bad Child, Lio Rush. I thought this was going to be interesting. Now, those who don't know, I have seen these two guys face off before, but not on this promotion with MLW, and I think there's still some animosity towards about that. But the obvious question is, can Myron Reed overcome him? That's the obvious thing. But you would have assumed that Lio Rush, who is good at what he does, would have picked up the win, but no, Myron Reed applied a very impressive pinfall onto Lio Rush and picked up the win. I was like, dang, that was a good one right there. Now, our next match, we have the GCW Extreme title match. We have Micro Man taking on Joey Janela. I thought there were some good moments, but the match, well, not to make this as a pun, didn't go long as I would have hoped, but it ended up very short because Janela did a super kick and retained the belt. But however, Micro Man got the last laugh because in the post match, Joey Janela wanted to shake his hand, and then what happened next? Wha-bam! Micro Man hit him right in the gonads. So basically, he's like, F this. So I thought it was great, from that. Hold on a second, guys. Bueno. Yes. Hold on, I'll check on it. I'm doing something else. Okay. Okay. Bye. Sorry about that. That was my dad. Anyway, our next match, we had Hoodfoot versus Joshua Bishop. Hoodfoot, if you guys ever seen him, he is one of those wrestlers who's been well recognized in the deathmatch community. Bishop has done mostly events down in the Midwest, mostly like the Chicago area or so, or somewhere around the areas of Chicago, Illinois, and all that. But nonetheless, it was a pretty good match. But oh my God, Joshua Bishop took it way extreme than you would have imagined. If you guys ever seen these type of matches where you use the chairs, but you use the top the areas where you lie back on on the folding chairs, those are the most dangerous spots, and he actually used that on Hoodfoot, and that allowed him to pick up the win. So that was crazy enough, but nonetheless, that's how it ends. So anyway, our as you know, the war between both Effie and Mance Warner rages on. GCW decided to set up a contract for their upcoming match later on this month on the 26th in Tampa. Look at me. So they had both Effie and Warner sign it. However, Effie signed it first, but Warner, of course, attacked Effie and signed the contract with Effie's blood. So this is going to be a very brutal match coming up. Now, our next match, we have Jonathan Gresham taking on Cole Radrick. Now, I'm not sure how this would be a interesting matchup, but however, we did see Cole Radrick and No Compadre adapt into the Lucha Libre style. But when it comes to Gresham, you know he's a technical wrestler, one of the best ones in the world that we have seen. So will this play out pretty well? I wouldn't be surprised. But however, you know that Gresham has tactical maneuvers in his specialty. Now, he may be short as hell, but don't let the size fool you. There's a reason why they call him the octopus. But nonetheless, Gresham applied a chokehold, and Radrick passed out, and it was over right from there. He picked up the win, and of course, fan base are not happy because Radrick is a GCW guy. But that's how it ends right there with this show. So as of right now, as you know, that we won't have another GCW show until the 26th, and that is the Look at Me show in Tampa. So I think that's pretty much it with all our reviews. Let's move on to the new thing, promotions you did not know existed. Okay, so welcome to our very first promotions you did not know. Now, these are promotions that I just discovered recently, and I did not know about their existence at all. But this is why this channel exists, because if I'm able to find out, then I'll be able to hopefully one day see them and enjoy it. Now, our very first, we have three of them actually that I discovered. The first one is called Banger Zone Wrestling, or for their acronym, BZW. Now, this promotion, I wasn't too sure. On the internet, it looked more like they said it was for Belgium, but they moved their operation out in France. So I was like, okay, makes sense. I know that wrestling does exist in France. I've been here, not to mention, we did see Mustafa Ali had a match in France recently with a different promotion. But this promotion in particular uh, has been active since 2019. And the interesting part, Joey Janela is one of their champions. I'm like, holy cow! I didn't even know that. I know Minoru Suzuki and a few other wrestlers that we are well known and here. They'll be making their appearance in their upcoming show in Banger Zone Wrestling. So I have to say it's a good thing that we're learning new things on this channel and learning if there's any new promotions. Now, our next one, this one's called CAG Wrestling. No, CAJ Wrestling, or for their acronym, it stands for Squash a Jobber. Now, this particular promotion is from Milan, Italy. Yes, folks, you heard me right. Milan, Italy. Now, not much about them. I know who they are. I mean, I'm sure because I'm not sure if Francesco Akira knows about them since he is Italian. I don't know how many Italian promotions exist down there, but I have to say, can I be honest? I like the name, the Squash a Jobber, or SAJ. You know, I have to say original name. Now this promotion has been active since 2022. Not much information, but there's something I will put out on the news update so you guys can take a look at. Now, our final promotion that we just learned, any of my subscribers from the Pennsylvania area or the regions near Pennsylvania, I just learned a brand new promotion coming out of New Kensington. It's called 8880 Wrestling. Yeah, so this is a brand new promotion that was active last year. I don't know much about them, but it's interesting. The name 888. You know what? Out of curiosity, I wonder what's the area code of that one. Let me look it up. Doesn't say, but I might have thought it was something, but no. It gave me a different response, but I don't know why they have that name. But it's interesting they use numbers instead of like names like we normally do. But yes, so if you guys are from any of my subscribers out there are from the Pennsylvania area, now you know there's a promotion in your state. But if you guys are in the surrounding regions of the new Kensington area, then you guys should check them out. I don't know. Hope I'll see if I can do research on these guys as well. So I think that's pretty much it for promotions you did not know. Let's move on with some news updates. Welcome to our news updates. So let's get started. First of all, let's start with the GCW stuff. Now, as you know, it's now official. Mance Warner and Effie will face each other on January 26th in Tampa for the Look at Me show. So, as I said before, this is going to be a brutal match to watch. So, let's see what happens. Now, as you all know, recently, Matt Cardona in the No Compadre show called out Nick Meneth. As you know, I said this, Cardona is threatened by Meneth now as a free agent, appearing in Independence. He feels that here's a guy who's after his throne. Now, the obvious question we do ask, what does Meneth have to respond? Well, he did tell him that he couldn't beat him. So he accepted his challenge, and that match is official, and that will take place on February 3rd at the Coldest Winter 2 show. So can't wait to see that. Now, 2 matches have announced for the KAOZ Lucha Libre show for the 39th anniversary on March 24th. We have Dominaco versus Trigue Universitario. Then we have a 6-person tag match. We have Mamba, Diva Salvate, Vasco Jr. They take on Larry Miranda Jr., Erica Solet, and Noisy Boy. So if you need anybody who's a big fans of KAOZ Lucha Libre, then you guys know what I'm talking about. Now, this is not actually part of a promotion, but letting you guys know, Wrestle Con, as you know, will be in Philadelphia during WrestleMania weekend. They just announced that Sid Vicious will be there. So anybody who's attending WrestleCon, go see him. Now, I mentioned this promotion recently on the new promotions. That's right. Squash a Jobber are announced the debut of former Young Lion Yuto Nakashima. That's right, guys. As you know, Nakashima is currently on excursion. He will be making his debut in this Italian promotion. I was a bit of surprise. Now, here's the funny part, so you guys didn't know. When I found out about this promotion, I decided, you know what? This is what I got to do. I got to introduce these promotions to all of you. But surprisingly, I'm very happy for Nakashima. I wouldn't be surprised if he wrestles all over Europe, if that's the case. But yes, so I think that's pretty much it with the promotion stuff. Let's talk about certain developments that we've been hearing. Now, as you know, Jack Perry appeared in New Japan Pro Wrestling's how to say, at the Battle in the Valley. Dave Meltzer had this to say, and this was via by a wrestle purist based out of course, based out of the UK. This is what they said. What Dave Meltzer said. Security didn't know about this angle, so that's what kind of interesting. They thought it was a fan hitting the ring after show to Una, but they quickly told Dave Meltzer. So apparently, the in-house security did not know this angle was happening. This is something that's been familiarized before. So basically, I would say that New Japan kind of dropped the ball on this and not informed them. But yes, so we'll see. Now, as you know, I mentioned Yukio Sakaguchi announced his retirement, and not to mention the disbandment of Eruption. He announced for his final match on February 7th, his opponent will be none other than Harashima. Now, I know these two guys have a bit of a history, so I think this is going to be a pretty interesting match to watch. Now, Wrestling Observer reports a very interesting development. Now, as you know, people talk about the Forbidden Door often, and one of these Forbidden Doors was All Japan and WWE. It was later revealed by Dave Meltzer that Simon Inoki, the son of Antonio Inoki, was personally responsible for the negotiations between WWE and All Japan. Now, this thing is still ongoing, from my understanding, because I've been hearing that there are still some talent that are having mixed feelings towards this. Now, I know some of you are going to say they need to grow up. I mean, look, guys, it's not on us to tell them they need to grow up. There are people who are concerned over this whole partnership thing, and that's okay, but we'll find out soon enough. Now, once again, as you know, Cora Jade, who we haven't seen for a while, she just recently came back. Well, it turns out she'll be out for quite a while. As you know, I reported recently on a previous new episode where she suffered an injury. Now it turns out that she suffered a torn ACL and she'll be out for a while. So this happened this past weekend during an NXT house show. So kind of sucks, but yes. Now, those who may or may not have been here, Megan Bayne, who's been phenomenal since she first arrived in Stardom, well, apparently her Stardom journey is coming to an end, and that will happen this coming weekend on Sunday. Um, she expected to return to AEW full time. That's what they're saying. Now, some of you are saying, I didn't know she was with AEW. I don't even know why she was sent there, but it was very surprising. But yes. Now, as you know, TNA is back. There were many people that often talked about, will they ever bring back the six-sided ring? Well, I mean, I would love to see it because I felt that is what makes that TNA more recognizable, different away from what WWE were doing. But Gail Kim actually talked about that during an interview, and this is what she had to say. I went back and forth a couple of times, and I will say I don't mind the six-sided ring. It is harder on wrestlers' bodies, so in regard, I rather have a longevity within our talent. When you're tagging, it's a lot of making sure you're whipping into the right part of the ring so it looks cool. I think it's unique, and I love the fans love it, but overall, I think the four-sided works better. Now, we know there has been, if you guys remember, when Hulk Hogan first arrived, he felt that he did not like the six-sided ring, neither did Sting and a few other wrestlers, but there are those that say that that's what makes it more unique. Even Kurt Angle said they should bring it back, but unfortunately, it's not. Now, if you guys didn't remember, I did report it on another previous episode on the news updates. Um, Arisa Nakajima injured herself in the last show of Sealing, and as you know, she ended up in a hospital. So basically, this is what she had to say. It's my fourth day in the hospital for the first time in my life. Suri came today. I was busy the day before the tournament. Thank you once again. I'm truly sorry for being absent. On the Surrealism show. Everybody come enjoy it much as I can. I hope um, the best enough. And then Suri actually put this out saying, I finally read when I saw your face. Tomorrow will definitely be great success. Devil look at me. So basically, Suri was concerned for the well being of Nakashima during the ceiling show. But great news, she is now discharged from the hospital. She actually posted this when she was discharged. I was discharged from the hospital safely. Seniors, juniors, compentaries, everyone involved and everyone supported us. Thank you very much for many messages and considerations. It helped me a lot. For now, I will work hard to recover under the care of the doctor who has been treating me for a long time. Stay safe and wait. So it's great that she's doing great. I hope she is 100% better. I know it's not the right moment for her to return to the ring, but it is the right timing for her to heal and get better at it. I'm sure many of us are hoping to see her again. We just don't know when. And I asked myself this other question: will this affect her for any future Sukeban shows? As you know, she is the Sukeban world champion. She just recently won that belt recently, back in December. So we'll see what happens. But I'll stay update on Nakashima's progress, see how it goes. I think that's pretty much it for now. Let's just call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, as you know, is Tuesday Wrestling. We most likely will have NWA Power and, of course, as always, NXT. So I'm looking forward to that. Now, I still have one more show left to watch because I haven't seen, and that is Noah with the New Year event that took place on January 2nd. I know that's going to be a long one, but nonetheless, it would be worth it to watch. So we'll see how that turns out. But as you know, this is the plan for the next episode and all of that. However, I want to give the heads up for, of course, the Wednesday one that I'll be doing. As you know, it will feature AEW Dynamite. However, due to the circumstances surrounding the following day after Wednesday, I will be actually working. I have a long day's hours. I decided I want to keep that one very short, maybe either with one or two reviews and possibly other things. But I'll explain more about that possibly on the next episode. So, but for now, this is the plan, and we'll go from here on out. So, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye, and have a nice day. Bang.